Welcome back to Python MC. In this section, we're going to code a video game using object-oriented programming. So this fantasy game will show us examples of two fundamentals of object-oriented programming, where you're creating objects that can take actions, called methods, and they have traits, called attributes. We're going to demonstrate a couple things about object-oriented programming. So inheritance. Each of the characters that we create will be child classes of this player class, and they'll inherit these attributes and methods from the player class. So you'll see they have this constructor method, the double underscore init, where they get a name and health of 100 and provisions like food and water. We have a move method, where it just says self.name is moving self.direction. So in one of the examples, we'll have a dwarf called Talagni. Talagni will move forward in this case. We'll have Majurio moving left. And then we'll have this hello method where they just say hello. Okay, so Talagni is saying hello. You'll notice this \n. That simply tells Python to skip to a new line. Create spaces in between each one. Makes it a little bit easier to read. And then all of these methods and all these attributes in player will be inherited by dwarf and elf and wizard and any of the characters that we create, because we just put player in parentheses. Now dwarf still has specific attributes like dwarf and axe and armor, and dwarf is its type or its group, but then it inherits all these other methods, so you don't have to rewrite them. It just saves you a lot of time when you code, especially when you're creating lots and lots of characters in this case. So we have elf, who's in the group elf with a primary weapon bow and arrow, and clothing elven cloak, but then it just inherits all these other methods. It still has 100 for health and food and water and all these methods for move, hello, and health check. And it inherits that all from the player class. And players in parentheses for all these different characters. Now class wizard also inherits all this stuff from player, and it has a specific move class which changes the definition of move. In this case, with polymorphism, they can inherit a method and then change it for a specific object. So you can still call it move, but then it'll behave differently. In this case, if the direction is teleport, then we say self.name disappeared. Okay, so let's call these methods. So we have Talagni is a dwarf, so we construct that dwarf object, and the instance of the dwarf object, they move forward and then that's all they do. In the case of a Majurio, that's a wizard, and that wizard has inherited all these different methods and attributes. So we can still say hello, and we can still do a health check, and you can see that up there. Hello, my name is Majurio, and Majurio's health is 100, and it can move left. All that's normal. Everyone else can do that. But you have this cast method, cast spell method, where Majurio can cast a spell, and then Majurio can teleport, which is still using the move method, but that's been changed specifically for wizards. So now the move method behaves differently, right? So we've shown examples of a player class which is inherited, which all the other child classes of player, like dwarf and elf and wizard, have all inherited these attributes. This is a great example of inheritance and polymorphism. That's it. We'll see you again on Python MC. Python MC.